All right, well, we are on our way to Iceland. As we said when we were leaving Nordkapp, Norway, we were going to head over and catch a ferry across to Iceland, but we realized that there was a few things that we had to get done prior to that journey. One of them was we needed to get some new tires on our bikes.
The tires that we had on our bikes were not bad, but we didn't think they would last the full extent of the time in Iceland.
Yeah.
So didn't want to take a chance. So we ended up speaking to a dealer in Trondheim who we had spoken to before.
Yeah, we had dealt with them before.
And they were able to send the 2 sets of tires down south to Sigdal.
Yeah. Well, and Sigdal is where, well, actually it was Oslo, and then our cousin in Oslo picked them up.
Oh,
And,
right, yeah.
yeah, and then drove them to Sigdal at her hytte where we would meet to put them on.
And
That was your job.
yeah, we got down there, and after a lot of effort, we put the 4 tires on.
You put the 4 tires on.
Yeah, and then we were ready to go.
And it wasn't easy either because the ground is uneven. That ground is uneven, and it was pretty difficult. And
Well, the hardest-
and as he gets older, as we get older.
Yeah, the hardest part, I guess, and that was getting the bikes in the air to get the wheels off.
Yeah, we didn't have any equipment.
Yeah, but we
did it?
We were able to get it done, and
And
then we had a nice meal.
I picked mushrooms with my cousin, and we had a lovely dinner inside the hytte for the last night in Norway. It's so beautiful there.
It is so nice.
And then there's a few other things we had to get done. The next day, in order to get to the ferry,
The next day was kind of a rush because we had to get we wanted to get new chains for the bikes.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get a new tent.
And that you kind of noticed when you were changing the tires. You thought,
With the
I think
chains,
we need
yeah.
to put new chains on.
Didn't want to take a chance being in Iceland. Didn't want anything to go wrong when we were over there because the facilities it's hard to get stuff.
Things you have to think about.
And the tent we had used in Scotland, and that it was just a little bit too lightweight, we thought, for Iceland. So we were able to pick up a new.
You ordered online.
I ordered online, went to pick up a Hilleberg Alec 2, which was more heavy-duty tent, which we felt safe for using in Iceland.
So they had it ready for us when we drove from Sigdal to Oslo to pick up the tent. Get the bikes, chains on, and then drive to pick up the tent, and then from there head to Larvik to the ferry terminal.
Yeah, and then from Larvik we took the ferry across to Hertzal.
Yeah.
Denmark, where we were able to find a small campsite with little cabins.
Yeah, they were really comfortable.
Yeah.
It was so much better than taking the tent out when we came in at night, and then we had to get something to eat, and we didn't want to undo all of our camping gear. So it was perfect.
It was.
And it was close to the ferry,
So we stayed overnight, and the next morning headed for the ferry.
which was very cool.
It was really cool because we got there, and there were probably hundreds of other motorcycles there
From
waiting
all
to
over.
take the trip from Denmark over to Iceland.
Yeah.
So it was exciting,
Yeah.
and everybody was so enthusiastic. It was great to
Well,
see.
it's a big ocean crossing, and
It
to
is.
head to Iceland is feels like such an adventure.
Yeah, everybody was just very enthusiastic and
Ready to go.
ready to go.
So
yeah.
then we were gonna get on board the ship and sail across the Great Sea and enjoy buffet dinners.
Yeah, we were looking forward to
We
that.
were looking and cold beer.
Yes,
We were looking forward to that. So the little things you think about and enjoy on trips like this.
you're right.
Here we are on deck, waving goodbye to Hertzal, the ferry dock where we departed from after leaving Norway to Denmark, and we're really looking forward to having this ferry ride, the rest, some good food, and looking out at that huge big ocean that we're crossing. It is going to be amazing.
When we planned our trip to Europe, one of the places that we did want to go was Iceland. We always knew we were going to go to Norway and Scotland, and Iceland was always on the thoughts, but we didn't know when we were going to go there. So we booked our passage on Smurl Line, which is a Faroese company. Smurl is actually the Faroese word for a bird, a merlin. And you'll see that insignia on their ships and the shipping containers. That we booked passage, and It would cost about $4,000 for the two of us, with a nice cabin and motorcycles to be shipped to Iceland and to be shipped back again. And the trip lasted for, let me see now, 3 days and 2 nights. Just a wonderful trip.
We had been on the trip for quite a while because we left our home in May 6th, and by the time we were getting ready to board on to Iceland, it was July 30th. So we had been on the road for 80 days, and most of that was camping, with the odd occasion where we were staying with family or a friend or whatnot, but most of it was camping in a tent. So we were happy to get on board the ship. One of the first things we did was we got a map, this one, and it was excellent. So it's not always easy to find road maps, but we got one there. We started to explore the ship. It's quite a large ship. There were beautiful dining halls, a buffet hall, a fancy dining hall, a cafeteria, a library lounge, an upstairs lounge with, I think, a 360-degree view of the ocean around us. Now, we just wanted to enjoy the ship, so we actually didn't take a lot of photos or videos because there were so many people around us as well, and we also lost some of our footage. So that's the story behind that. But we do have some photographs to share with you. We relaxed a lot and enjoyed just being on the boat. In order to book our meals, which we booked in advance, we wanted the earliest dinner and the earliest breakfast. So we were at the table at, I think, 4:30 or 5 o'clock was the first seating for dinner. And I think it was either 7:30 or, yeah, I think it was 7:30 in the morning was for the earliest breakfast dinner. And then it gave us the rest of the day to just enjoy the ship.
There were hundreds of motorcycles getting on the ship. And during our voyage, what was really interesting is you walk through the ship and you see groups of people, and they'd have maps open on the tables, and you could hear them discussing where they're going to go. Of course, we didn't understand most of it because it was in different languages. I think majority of them were German speaking. But it was fun to see the enthusiasm that they had, and they were marking on the maps of different places that they were going to go in Iceland.
During most of the voyage, it was pretty calm. Beautiful sky, beautiful sunsets, some rocky moving waves, but otherwise it was a pretty calm day. But it was really, really beautiful when we started to see land in the distance, and that was, of course, the Faroe Islands that we were coming upon. What a spectacular sight it is to see the mountains. It's so different. The mountains are beautiful, lush green, very small little, not villages, but it looked like communities along the shoreline. Hard to see if there was any roads. And then when we came closer and closer into port, you saw the difference between the modern designs of the architecture and the old designs from long ago with the grass roofs. And it was really magical, just magical to arrive in that port and look. We would have loved to have gotten off, maybe next time, but it was really a lovely sight to see. So we just sat outside and looked around and enjoyed that view. And then, of course, when we left, we had further beautiful views as fish farms and little houses, and it was just gorgeous. Of course, it's a modern place. It's modern, but it has that old, ancient feel to it that is just so beautiful to see.